not staring and I'm not. Welcome to another episode of Star Maker Talk Show, and I've got a special guest. But let me ask you this question before I introduce her: are you aged 50 plus and building the next phase of your life? Because that's what Colleen Kohanek is all about. She has a Substack. She has nearly 2,000 subscribers already. Her publication is Colleen Third Act Field Notes, which is all about building your truest life after 50 years. She lives the digital nomad lifestyle. She's got lots to talk about. Colleen Kohanek, welcome to Star Maker Talk Show.
Thanks for having me. That's quite the introduction.
Well, it's all true because it's taken off what you've got there on Substack and what's available there online. And I'm so excited to talk to you for a number of reasons. 50 plus and reinventing one's life. So many people in our age bracket in that phase of life are doing the same. They're doing it on Substack. They're doing it off Substack. You're doing it. And in fact, you're doing it to the extent that right now, you're not even home, yet it looks like you are home. Explain that.
Yeah, so I have just launched a year-long nomadic journey where I am house and pet sitting across the United States, at least for now. I will go international eventually. I always say eventually. I'm traveling with my little dog who is older and has liver cancer. So we don't know how long she'll be with us, but for as long as she's with me, I will stay in the United States and then eventually go abroad as well. So yeah, that's what, and I'm on my very first house sitting gig. And so I'm brand new to all of it.
Well, what do we say there? Is it popping the cherry? Do we wish you well? Do we wish you break a leg? What do we say to somebody who's in their first house sitting role as a nomad lifestyler?
Yeah, I think any of those. Break a leg could work. In French, I'm also French speaking. They say, merde, which, is like shit basically, but it's the same as break a leg. So yeah, it's just, I wanted to shake things up a bit. And because I have a digital business, I'm able to do that. I'm able to work really from anywhere with Wi-Fi. So that's what we're doing. We're just going to go see what we find.
We're going to get into that more, the digital selling, creating digital products and selling digital products, because I know that's a big arm to what you're about. But you did mention that you're now house sitting your first home. You have your pet dog with you who's unwell with cancer, and we don't know how long your dog will be with you. I just want to mention and ask you too, because loss and grief is something that's a part of your life. Yeah. And this is one reason why you have the freedom to do what you're doing now. I just want to mention that you lost your husband and your sister. And can you just tell us about that, please?
Yeah. So, over the last 8 years, I have lost quite a bit. But namely, I did lose my husband of almost 30 years. And then I subsequently lost my sister and a couple of best friends. I'm child free by choice, and I never had a big family. So I really don't have family left. So I call myself a bit untethered. So I am free to roam about, so to speak, for lack of a better term. And so, yeah, that is me. I have good friends in many different places, and that's kind of what I plan to do, and to cruise around and see them again and reconnect with them again. And yeah, so that's my story in a nutshell. It's me and the dog.
Well, we're sorry, and we offer the condolences of losing someone as close as your own husband, and then your sister, and you mentioned other losses as well in the last 8 years. I just want to ask, these life-changing events can lead us into different pathways, whether it's a health issue, personal, or the loss of someone so close. Were you able to just step off that experience, if I could be so cold to put it that way, and then keep moving forward onto the next thing, or did you have to adjust? What happened in your life?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been quite an adjustment, and of course, my husband died 8 years ago, and then we almost not immediately, but then stepped into COVID, where we were, on lockdown. So that was quite a bit of a period. I think the grief for my husband, it went through what I think is a pretty traditional, the stages of grief kind of thing. I always say the very first year, I was fine. I was absolutely fine, as if nothing had happened, because, they say your brain just kind of, it doesn't let you believe what's happening, and you get very busy with the business of death, just, closing down a person's life. Year two was like, oh, that was probably my deepest grief. And then
Oh,
year three was like, oh shit, this, am I allowed to cuss? I cuss, I'm sorry. This is
yeah.
real. Like, this is real. This is my new life, really. And so it was, I'd say, a 3 year really hard process. And then, I had so much loss going on at the same time. I had what I call a 2 year temper tantrum, where it was, to the universe, like, why me, kind of anger and grief. And then just slowly, work through it. You're never past it. Grief, it's always kind of alongside you. But now, 8 years in, I say I have some distance on it, so to speak. But yeah, it's a long process for sure. It just is. Yeah.
Well, kudos for where you're at 8 years on today. There you are, just starting out in this new nomadic lifestyle. I think we used to call it the laptop lifestyle
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
10 or 15 years ago. But whatever you call it, you're now in somebody else's home, house sitting. You're using their Wi-Fi, I presume, and now you're talking to us on Substack live stream. Your background, among other things, more recently at least, is creating and selling digital products. And I was intrigued by one of your posts with the title, "If Marianne Antoinette were alive today, she'd be selling digital products." Why did you say that?
Well, it's funny. I don't remember that post, but I totally believe you. That's my soon to be 59-year-old brain. It just is where we are. And I've done more than digital products. I was laid off 9 years ago, and I was laid off alongside 10,000 people worldwide in an industry that was shrinking. So I was just about to hit my 50th birthday. I knew that there was no way I was going to find a job similar to what I'd had, competing with 10,000 people in an industry, in an industry that was already shrinking. And so at the time, I kept hearing about, oh, start an online business, start an online business. I had no idea what that meant, but I thought, oh, I'll do that. I'll do that because I don't know what else to do. So I jumped in, and started learning. I was very naive. I didn't know what any of it meant. And so I started taking courses and programs and all the things. And along the way, I've had, a membership program, or a couple membership programs. I've had coaching programs. I've had digital products. I've had content creation. It becomes a mixed portfolio of things. Digital products, in my opinion, are the, I don't want to say easiest, but they're definitely the most sustainable for my lifestyle that I want. And I think what's interesting that I've learned is you can really you can take any know-how, and I always like stress it, like from beekeeping to, whatever it is, and translate that into digital assets in some capacity and sell them if you learn the process of it. And so it is where we are now, in the future. And so I think, yeah, I think it's a great way to go, for sure.
Did you have a teacher or a guru or someone who really fired you up in the early days of creating digital products and selling them?
I was really, in the beginning, I was such a newbie. I took all of the gurus. I took a course by Amy Porterfield. I took a course by Marie Forleo. Like, I jumped in and really took all of them. And it's really just, I got some basics there. And then a lot of it has just been learn by doing. And I have had many teachers along the way, but those were the early ones that just taught me even the foundational, what it even meant to have what I didn't even know what a digital product was, to be honest. And so, I got the foundation.
How would you tell a 10-year-old today? If a 10-year-old said, Colleen, what's a digital product? How would you answer them?
It's any piece of knowledge or information that you can create virtually and deliver virtually. That's it, really. I mean, there's a million formats for digital products. It can be, an e-course. It can be a Substack. It can be a PDF. It can be a template. It can be, there's so many formats. I say there is a format of digital product really for every personality. And so that's what I would say. You deliver it virtually, and you create it virtually and deliver it virtually.
Do you have a preferred format?
My current format that I'm doing a lot of, for example, I have a workshop tomorrow. I love delivering live virtual workshops and then selling them over and over after the fact. That's been very successful for me. I like that format. And I feel like my audience, women over 50, it feels more like a traditional type of a format, like a school or a lecture almost. And so that has worked well for me. That's probably like my preferred.
On that, Colleen, please.
What's that?
So you run a live workshop, and then you'll have the recording of that event, and then you're able to repurpose and repackage it and sell it as a product. Let's start first of all. What would be the topic? Do you want to announce the title of the topic of the workshop you're running tomorrow?
Sure.
Or,
yeah. So tomorrow's workshop is called Decide and Move. And it's a micro experiment methodology that I've created as a way to kind of make some big and bold moves in my life, breaking it down into really small steps because, our brain is wired to keep us safe and, keep us in our comfort zone. And that's, you can't do that if you want to make big moves in your life. And so I'm teaching a workshop tomorrow called Decide and Move, for people who feel like they're stuck or they're stuck in overanalyzing, overthinking. How do you get past that so that you can make big moves? So that's just one workshop, but anything like that that's like a single topic, I really enjoy teaching that.
The target audience for tomorrow's workshop is just about all of us at some stage of life, but particularly when we're going through this phase of after 50 years of age, reinventing, entering a second or a third or another phase or whatever number you want to put on it. Now, I'm interested just to stay on this for a moment because there's strategy and implementation here that our viewers can benefit from learning from. Where do you get your audience from, and how do they put their hand up to you and say, I want to join in on this workshop tomorrow? What's the process you're using?
Yeah. So I primarily use social media marketing, and I spend a lot of time on social media. Mostly Instagram. I did do a lot of TikTok for a while, but it has gotten a bit wonky since it has become Americanized, probably a whole other conversation. I really enjoy social media marketing. I have done a live video every morning now for 600 plus days in a row, either on TikTok or mostly Instagram now. And, I've been at this 9 years, so I've built a pretty decent email list as well. And now I have a Substack, but I really enjoy social media marketing. And quite frankly, it's the easiest, low hanging fruit, low investment. You show up, you target your audience. And that's how I've really built my audience, to be honest.
You've built social media presence. You've got your Instagram, you mentioned, TikTok, not so much today since the changes. And are you posting text or video promos on Instagram?
Video. I love video. I love the format. I love live video in particular, but I do post at least one, probably two videos, reels or stories a day. I just do them off the cuff. I don't pre-plan them. I don't batch them. I don't schedule them out. I just kind of stop and grab my phone and talk and go. And yeah, that's the format. I find it to be the easiest format, to be honest.
And you said you've done over 600 consecutive days of live. My goodness, if there was a medal or an honor or something, it's got to go to you. The discipline that would be required to maintain that
Yeah.
consistency.
It became kind of a self-fulfilling. I started doing it over on TikTok, and then I did it for a long time on TikTok. And then TikTok was smart. They sent me a big badge one day, like a big prize, like you have gone live like 400 days in a row. So then it became like I can't lose my streak now, right? So it became like this kind of competing with myself. I do it every morning when I first get up. I call it Coffee with Colleen and Trixie. I'm in my pajamas, I'm in my bed head, a cup of coffee, and I just show up and start talking. So there's not preparation. It's before I start my day, and it's just become part of my day, to be honest. Yeah.
And how many viewers would you get on your live?
Oh, it really depends. I mean, for a while on TikTok, I would get dozens and dozens. Again, it really has shifted. I'd say on Instagram now, I average probably about 20 a morning, 20 at least a morning ish. And it rotates out. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. The algorithm, we never really know what it's doing.
Let's follow a continuum. So we've got the picture. You're an absolute star. Talk about Star Maker Talk Show, and the star of the show being Colleen. You get 2 stars. So over 600 daily live streams. Unbelievable. I mean, I thought, okay, you've blown me away. That's on predominant, excuse me, viewers. Predominant. By the way, about viewers, Colleen, we've got a number of viewers who are with us live, and we really do just want to acknowledge and say hello to you and thank you for joining us. And we appreciate you being with us. And if you're watching the replay or listening to the audio, thank you for listening and tuning in as well. We're talking to Colleen, who is on Substack. Her publication is Colleen Third Act Field Notes, which is all about building your truest life after 50. She particularly likes to speak to women, and she helps us all, really. I mean, I'm inspired just by this, what we're talking about now, but she helps us all on this quest of rebuilding a life. What about? I want to stick to the monetization. I want to get to monetization, but I want to stick to the continuum of because you're doing this live workshop tomorrow, and then you're repurposing the recording as a product to sell, to market and sell. So that obviously means monetization and revenue. I want to get to that end stage of the continuum. All right, so I'm on Instagram and I see Colleen coming up every day, and I'm thinking, I want to get to know a bit more about this Colleen and about what she's about and what she might offer me. So do you offer a call to action in these live streams every morning on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, and what is the call to action?
Click my link in bio. Click my link in bio. Click my link in bio. Hey, the workshop is tomorrow. The link is in my main profile. I probably say it a million times. Click the link. The link is in my main profile. It's kind of ingrained in me. And I change the link that I have in my social media depending on what I'm promoting at a given moment. I use a product called Stand Store as my digital storefront. I don't know if people are familiar with it. It's a very simple digital storefront link in bio product. It's what I put my students in. It's what I recommend. And there you go. Yeah, Stand Store, STAN.STORE. And the great thing about Stand Store, super simple, about 15 minutes to set up. You get your own digital storefront. It'll host any type of digital product, from PDFs to workshops to any type of, if you want to deliver it virtually. It's not good for physical products, but it's a super simple system to set up. And what I really like is you have your storefront. So I can send people like, hey, just click on the link and go to my Stand Store, is what people call it. And you see all of my products. Or if I'm in a specific promotional phase, like right now for this workshop, I can send people directly to that sales page only. So I change out in my social media. If you go to any of my social media bios, you will see at any time either my general Stand Store link or a very specific link to a workshop, but they're all in Stand Store. And so it's super simple.
Excellent point. You've answered a question I was about to ask, because click the link in my bio, click the link in my bio. first of all, the point you've made there is repetition. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Repetition is very important. I'm not trying to teach you, Colleen, you know this, but I'm mentioning it for our viewers who may not be as advanced as you are. It's very important to use repetition, especially in your emails. If there's at least 2, maybe better 3 calls to actions, click here, learn more here, rather than just the one. All right, so we're on Instagram. We've seen Colleen show up every day. She's piqued our interest. We want to know more. She's talking about something coming up. We hear her repeat, click the link in the bio. I click the link in the bio. I go through to either the actual Stan Store page or a specific sales page, product related, that you've set up. So you are tweaking and editing the link in your bio on the social media, in this case, Instagram. And then I see a sales page, and then there's a call to action on that. Let's just say move forward. I'm committed to joining the workshop tomorrow. Where is it hosted, and how do you get viewers? How do you get other people to come onto the workshop if they haven't clicked the link in the bio and gone through that sales page, or don't you do that?
So what I do, so tomorrow I host on Zoom. That's just the product I've used for a long time. So it's the easiest one for me. And the people who obviously join tomorrow have registered, they've paid for the workshop, they come. After tomorrow's workshop, I will take that recording. And what I do on Zoom, because I do Zoom meetings versus Zoom webinar, that's just kind of getting logistics. I will take that video then, and I'm not an editor, but I can edit out, like, when you're on Zoom and you see all the people, like, in the viewing, I always set the gallery up that it's just the speaker. So it's just me. So when I'm recording, it's me and my slides, like I'm, sharing my screen, and those people are not visible for the recording that I then sell over and over again. So I then have an evergreen product that now goes and lives on my Stan Store and my digital storefront. So if you were to go to my storefront right now, you would see I have a workshop called How People Make Money Online. I did that workshop a couple weeks ago, and now I sell it over and over. I think I had sold like a couple hundred seats for the original one, and now I just kind of sell it over and over. I mention it, but you'll see all of my workshops there. So that's kind of the formula I use. Teach it on Zoom, kind of cut out the gallery, because I don't want to have to get permission from everybody, to be selling their likeness. And so I do that. And then I have a product that I sell over and over. And just in the course of Instagram lives or social media, I'm always marketing my products, and they're all around the same topic of, what are you doing with this third act, right? How are you building your third act? How are you funding it? Which is where obviously the business comes in. So that's how I do that.
Now, you just let slip there that didn't slip by me though. A couple of hundred seats sold for a workshop. Now, just one moment, Colleen. What price would they have paid?
That one was $37. Tomorrow's workshop is $57. I have a wide range of prices of products, and
how many seats are sold for tomorrow's workshop?
I think I have about 70 sold for tomorrow as of today, and I'm hitting it hard. I'm sending a lot of emails out today also.
You're blowing me away. Not only because I love your glasses, and I do love your glasses, and they're blowing me away. I need to have a sip. I don't know about the viewers live here, but you're blowing me away here, Colleen. Just a moment, please. I have to hang on to my seat to stay. Colleen, you've sold 70 seats at how much for tomorrow's workshop?
$57. Some of them are more than that, because I have what's called an upsell as well. So when they go to the sales page for tomorrow's workshop, there's like a box that says, oh, by the way, I have a one-time offer for another product if you would like to buy that as well at a discount. So I'd say probably half of the 70 seats sold have upsold. And so that total will come in around $98 for those.
A superstar. Now, just for our viewers, because All right, so let's get serious. So I'm familiar with these numbers, but I'm in the mindset of our viewers, and a viewer who may be not as advanced or even haven't even stepped forward into the digital creation, digital selling, and they're listening to you and watching you now and thinking, my goodness, that's multiple thousands of dollars. That's going to be my rent, my food for the next. Okay, this is the positioning we've got here.
Yeah.
And you're saying that you started this a number of years ago, and this is where you are now, with a commitment to do the things that you need to do every day. A workshop you're sitting in somebody else's home because you've got this nomadic lifestyle that you're starting and embarking out. All right, workshop tomorrow. Did you say 70 seats sold tomorrow? 50, 70?
About 70 are sold. The last I looked, 70 seats sold for tomorrow. There'll be more because I'm hitting it hard. I'm hitting the email list hard. I'm promoting it hard up until the time of the workshop. But yeah,
you're my new guru. Forget all the rest. I'm getting onto Colleen. I'm getting onto Planet Colleen from now on. All right. So all right, on the continuum, finishing off. So these paid attendees attend the workshop tomorrow. Some of them have bought the upsell, which means for the viewers who aren't familiar, they go to the link, the sales page for the workshop tomorrow. There's an invitation to look. Oh, by the way, here's something else you might be interested in. And some of those have purchased that as well. So they've invested even more into your content. The workshop is run. It ends. Do you offer those who are attending an extra tier of service? For example, do you offer consulting and coaching?
yes. And that will be at the end of my workshop. I always end my workshops with, what's next. If you want to do more, you could purchase this product. You can join my membership community. I have a membership community as well. So that's like monthly recurring revenue where we meet twice monthly. And there is a full digital business curriculum school in there for people who want to learn how to build a digital business, how to build a digital business.
In marketing terminology for our viewers, Colleen, they may be familiar with the term funnel. They may be familiar with the term ladder, or they might have heard it referred to as a sideways funnel. Either way, whether you're going up or bringing them into a funnel that they drop out at the end, you've got this. I think of it as an ascension ladder. That's how I was taught. So they come in at the bottom rung of the ladder. What's your top tier offer?
My top tier offer is the digital business membership tier of my membership program, which is $99 a month, or they can get it almost half price if they pay for the year in advance. So I think it's 700, 600, don't hold me to that specifically. That's the highest tier I have. I also have one-on-one coaching that is around, I think right now it's around like $397 or $497 for an hour. I don't get a lot of those, to be honest, and I don't promote it heavily because it's not my favorite way of interacting. So yeah, right now my highest tier would be my membership program, which has a lifestyle track and a business track. The business track has full curriculum, specified coaching. That would be my highest level.
Well, who would have thought that we would have spent so much time on this, but I'm so glad we did. And I didn't know that we would, but we've just been given a little mini course in how to on the topic of creating a digital product that you can market and sell online. Let's forget the marketing terminology. Creating something from your knowledge, experience, expertise, and insights in life. Package it in such a way that people can find it online and buy it or buy into you and what you do. And that's what you've done, and you're doing so well, selling seats for workshops. The recording of the workshop is then repurposed and repackaged, and then you sell it. And you've got your Stand Store. Stand Store is something like Gumroad or PayHip, is that right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you're using Zoom. Would you ever consider not using Zoom, or have you ever tried using Google Meet, or you only use Zoom because you're comfortable with it?
Yeah, to be honest, there's so many different tools out there now. I use Zoom just because I'm a creature of habit and it's what I used in my corporate days. So I was familiar with it. And then I just kind of kept using it. There's so many opportunities now. Even, for example, in my membership community, I host it in an app called School, Skool. They have their own video capacity now and webinar capacity built directly into it. I don't use it directly into it because I'm selling to people outside of school as well, but Google Meet can absolutely work. There are very simple ways to sell digital products without needing a lot of fancy tools.
So how are you using Substack, Colleen?
I use Substack. Really, I got on Substack because everybody got on Substack, and I got very enamored with the ability to write. I'm a former freelance magazine writer from my early 20s. I used to write for national publications here in the United States, like Better Homes and Gardens and whatnot. So I do love to write, but I loved the idea that they had notes, that you could do video, that it was kind of your own self-contained media platform, which I think is critically important because social media can, we don't own social media. They change the rules all the dang time. We don't control it. So I love the idea of having that control over, what you put out in the world, because your content obviously becomes an asset. And it's good to own it. It's good to own it.
You're a writer and an established writer with this background as a freelance writer in your past. What do you say to writers who are hesitant, reluctant, or against the idea of using video like we're doing now?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I mean, what I teach my students is deliver content in a way that you will deliver it, that you will deliver it consistently, that you are comfortable doing. If you're more comfortable writing, go write. If you're comfortable doing video, go do the one that you'll actually do. I kind of fell in love with video as a way, like these live videos that I've done every morning, for 600 mornings or whatever, have been the best thing I've ever done to learn, to really process how I think about things and how to talk about the things that I think about. Like video has given me that interaction where if I say something on live video and people are like, what? I can say it again, like differently. So I've really been able to process my messaging well, like through video, in a way that I can't do with writing, because writing, once it's out there, it's out there, and yeah, you can go back and rewrite it, but it's just not the same interactivity. But go do the content that you will do, whatever format that is. That's my.
Thank you, Colleen. When you're doing these daily morning videos to Instagram, approximately how long are they?
You know what? There isn't an approximate. I'd say they probably average 45 minutes.
Oh, really?
However, I will say this: I can time the rhythm of it by the day of the week. Mondays, they're short. People are busy. People are getting ready for the week. By Friday, Saturday, Sunday, more people are joining. More people are longer. I've had some. If I, in some instances where I've had a lot of people, like say 100 people. This was more in the TikTok days on a Sunday, and we got into conversation. I have some that have gone close to 3 hours, and it was more like strike while the iron is hot. People are here. People are having the discussion where, we're having these really great conversations. And what I have done with not with every video, but with many of my videos, is after the video is done, I can download it. I have access, obviously, to the live. It doesn't necessarily go to the audience. I can download it. I will then pop it into an app like Loom, which is kind of a screen recording tool. It will transcribe my videos. I then put them in ChatGPT and say, go through these videos and tell me what are the most talked about topics, what are the most brought up questions. What are the hottest themes? What are the, whatever. I then turn around and use those exact words and themes in marketing and messaging. And so it's become like a really major tool for me, to be perfectly honest, to do the live videos. But
I'm so glad I'm tied myself down to the chair, Colleen. I didn't expect this to be such a riveting conversation. No offense intended. I knew it'd be interesting, but you're just a storehouse of. Now, all right, back into the mindset of the viewer who wants to get started. You've piqued their interest. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. And what can happen when you're starting out is the costs involved in the technology to make all this happen. Now, you've mentioned a few: Zoom, School, Loom, ChatGPT. I'm talking here about your monthly commitments of subscription amounts to this technology that enables you to be the success you are today. Can you give us a ballpark, and can you address this to the viewer who may have some, budgets are tight, but somebody wants to make the move? How do you help them?
I mean, for somebody, here's what I do with my students. I have every student, it doesn't even matter what your ultimate goal is or what your ultimate format is. I have my students create a very simple digital product first. By digital product, I mean, you're going to create an e-guide, a how-to guide. It should not take you more than an afternoon to create this. You create it in a Google Doc. You are not even getting fancy in Canva. You're going to create it in a Google Doc. You're going to save it as a PDF. You now have a product. You have an asset. How to train your puppy. It could be anything, like one specific topic. Then you take that product. You now have something tangible that is related to your niche, your topic of interest or your umbrella, whatever you want to call it. You get on social media and you start talking about it, whether that's on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. And then you can employ a tool like Gumroad that you mentioned. There's no cost outlay. They're going to charge a per transaction fee, so there's not an investment there. Stan Store, I always recommend they use the lowest tier, which is $29 a month. It gives you a really great link in bio. Like, you sell 2 products, 3 products, you've covered your cost. There are more expensive tiers on Stan Store, but I'm like, you can upgrade when you need to, when you need to. You can host workshops, paid workshops. You don't need Zoom. You can do it on Google, Hangouts, Google Meet. You can go directly to Stripe or PayPal and set up an invoice that people pay you directly. Then you host the workshop on Google, and then you can host the replay on your Google Drive, right? And only people with the link have access to it. So there's a lot of ways to do it without spending a lot of money. That in this day and age, there really is. I would always say to people, have, maybe $200 to get started. And that's not $200 a month. That's if you might need help setting up a tool or something like that. And quite frankly, now, like with AI, like you can go to ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, how would I set up a workshop with Google Hangouts and Stripe, and it'll walk you through how to do it. So we don't even need that much tech support anymore. So
wonderful advice and recommendations there. That is so valuable, and I look forward to summarising that in the show notes once this live stream is available for me to publish as a recording. Now, AI is obviously on everybody's lips, as you've mentioned it, and you've mentioned ChatGPT, and there's so many options. Why is ChatGPT the only AI you're using?
No. I use Claude. I use ChatGPT. I use Gemini. I use Notebook LM. And most recently, it's not a secret anymore. I use a product called Gamma, Gamma, where, for example, anybody who comes to tomorrow's workshop will see I create my workshops always in Google. Like, I'll outline them in Google, and I don't use AI to create my products. I create my products and then I use AI to help me, fill in the blanks. But I'll create a Google Doc And this Gamma product is an AI product that you can upload a Google Doc or whatever and say, create a presentation for me. And it will, in about 1 minute, create an entire slide deck based on your slides. You can go in and edit it and do all those things. It'll create a workbook for you. It's magical. It is magical, Mike. I'll say that.
Wow. Gamma, Gamma. I'll be including in the show notes for the viewers the tech and the apps that you've mentioned, Colleen, and and also now, as I always say, can you believe it? We've been chatting away for 40 minutes, and I'm respectful of your time, and time flies when you're having fun. A few final words, Colleen, before I get to being thanking you and being so grateful for you in showing up on the program and being so forthright with your answers and information. I really appreciate. I know our viewers would too. About the workshop tomorrow, is it too late for people to get involved if they want to?
No, it's never too late, Mike. You can sign up till 2 seconds beforehand if you want. And
all right. So what I'll ask for you to do then, please, is send me as soon after we stop this live, is send me the details and the link, so I can put that in the show notes, and I'll get this published within a few hours of our ending the live, so it's for others to follow up on as well. You mentioned Gamma. What is that, a free or is that a paid AI?
Gamma is paid. Gamma is paid. And here's what I want to say. I have delivered workshops before without slides. I have delivered workshops before with a Google Doc on Zoom, sharing my screen. Like, I think sometimes we get caught up in the format. And I always remind students, people are coming to the workshop for the information, right? Yeah. And the mechanism, it doesn't have to be fancy by any stretch. I have been to many really successful workshops where there aren't slides or anything. It's more of a discussion and the person has notes and whatnot. So don't get caught up in like fancy formatting and things like that. And always keep in mind, it's the information that they're coming for. And I would say this is like a piece of advice, because people always say, oh, maybe I shouldn't charge in the beginning because I'm new. I'm like, no, you always charge, because the information you're delivering isn't new. You know the information you're delivering. It's just the delivery format that is new to you. Two different things. So say you've never done a Zoom workshop. Don't give it away for free if you're giving away this. You have this knowledge. It's just a different format that you're delivering it in.
And may I supplement that excellent advice? It's not only the information, but it's the presenter as well. For example, you, Colleen, it's you, your presence, your experience, what you bring to the information you're sharing, your insights, particularly when a backstory is included, but that's not always the case, I understand. But there's the information and there is the presenter. In this case, it's you, Colleen, or it's our viewers who are inspired by what you've been covering during this show, and they get involved. It's them and their persona. For example, your persona, may I comment, and I want to be not flippant, I want to be somewhat serious here, and I wear this cap for a reason, but you've got those beautiful red glasses, framed glasses, and do you wear those all the time, or do you use those as a prop, shall we say, for your on-camera presentation?
Well, sadly, I need glasses. These are readers. People always ask me, where'd you get them? I'm like, these are readers from Amazon, pack of 5. They're readers. I started wearing the red ones because several years ago, I liked colorful things. I always had colorful glasses, and people started saying, you're the gal with the red glasses. And it just kind of stuck. Like, that was a point of, it was memorable. It was remarkable. So, yeah. So I just started wearing them all the time.
It's a great tip for those going on camera. Colleen's wearing those red frame glasses. She's, as one viewer said, you're the girl or the lady with the red frame glasses. I'm wearing the cap. Larry King had the braces. If there's something you can do to stand out and make your own presence, that's so I did want to comment on that, because we can't ignore the fact that you've got those lovely red frame glasses. So that's it. Yeah. Colleen, it's been such a delight having you on the show. We really appreciate you joining us. You've obviously got a lot of experience and insight to share. No wonder your paid workshops are so filled up, and there will be in the show notes for those watching live who want to revisit and follow up with Colleen. Well, you can click on Colleen's. You can find her on Substack.
Yeah, you can find me on Substack, and then it obviously leads to my social media channels, which leads to my Stan Store, which, all roads lead to the Stan Store eventually.
All roads lead to the Colleen. Thanks again. Your final words of encouragement for somebody who is over 50, reinventing this second or third phase of their life, based on your experience and your insights. A word of encouragement, please.
We are the most qualified humans on the planet, and any human over the age of 50 has multiple skills, interests, expertise that they can translate into digital income in some capacity. And it can be incredibly simple or as complicated as you want, but it's such a great opportunity. There's definitely a learning curve to it, but it's a really incredible opportunity for us. That's my word of advice.
You heard it from Colleen. She's a success. She's my newly appointed guru. And I think you should, if you're not already subscribed and following Colleen. If she hasn't given you enough reason yet, I don't know what reasons you'd need extra. All right, Colleen, thanks again for joining us. And to our viewers, thank you for joining us live. If you're now watching on the replay or listening to the audio on podcast, thank you also. And check out the show notes, because there will be links and also other information that the AI apps and other apps that Colleen mentioned. Until next time, this is Mike Searle signing off from the Star Maker Talk Show.